This should be interesting because last week, Jet Lawrence, some bad luck, coughed up the points lead.
He did, so we got a good points battle on our hands. Going to be a lot of fun. Jet looking very, very strong here, but we go back last year where Hunter won the overall. That's probably got to give him some nice confidence. Nevertheless, it is go time in championship. It's going to be fun to see how it turns out.
And it's not all about the Lawrence brothers. Other riders rising to the occasion. Joe Shimoda able to get around Hunter Lawrence in the first Moto last week, and then in an unbelievable charge after an early crash in Moto 2, gets his first ever win.
Yeah, I mean, he stuck with it both Motos, Moto 1 and Moto 2, and it got him his first overall.
And he is third in points, so he also benefited from Jet losing all those marks. When his bike broke in the first Moto, Shimoda 36 points down in the series. Only 7 in it, though, between the Lawrence brothers.
Yeah, very similar to the 450 class. Yep. Only 7 separating them. Jet, I think, certainly has the advantage. However, anything can happen if Hunter can continue to keep the pressure on Jet. Maybe he'll have some luck and gain some more points.
But Jet was fastest in both qualifying sessions earlier today. We'll see if Joe Shimoda can build a little bit of a win streak here, fighting back against the Lawrence brothers, who were so dominant early in the year.
Wearing number 220 on the HTA Company's KTM, it is Cole Harkins. Qualifying 35th this morning, comes out of Tolan, Connecticut. He's on a CRT Toronto Evans KTM. Lawrence Fortin to third. 34th gate pick out of Fremont, California on the Blood Builder Blood Money.
One of the most awesome feelings when you do get it. When you finally do get one, it's sick.
Lucas Oil, it works.
I run Lucas Oil.
It doesn't matter if you're on the water,
driving to work,
or competing in a sold-out stadium.
Lucas Oil products will help you get the most out of your vehicle.
Monster Jam has run Lucas Oil in and on our...
Welcome to Redmond, Michigan! Welcome to Redmond, Michigan!
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers. And by Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance.
GoPro course preview. Got the GoPro here on Michael Moseman from qualifying. He's ripping on the 250.
Going for it. The quality of these cameras are absolutely insane.
That's our GoPro course preview. Yes, there is one of the Southwick legends. Now, the New England area is made up of 5 states. So New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, and New Hampshire. But this is not a hotbed of talent the way, say, Florida and California, places where you can ride 12 months a year, are. So when a rider like this one starts to excel, the entire region gets behind him, and that was the case with Doug Henry. Torrington, Connecticut's Doug Henry is a 3-time national champ and an all-time Southwick legend. But simply put, he might be the most determined rider in the history of motocross. It started with back-to-back 125 national championships while riding for Honda in 1993 and 1994. However, just as his career was taking off, tragedy would strike in 1995, as Henry would suffer a broken back in a huge crash in Budds Creek, Maryland. But the ability to come back from devastating injury would define Doug Henry. In 1997, Henry was signed by Yamaha to develop their brand new YZM 400 Works 4-stroke, and he had to work to tame that big machine, putting in tireless efforts in development, and then becoming the first rider to capture a Supercross main event win on a 4-stroke when he won the 1997 season finale. But unfortunately, Budds Creek would lead to his undoing again in motocross, this time when his engine cut out, leading to another big crash and 2 broken arms. Things would go better in 1998, as Henry had the Yamaha Thumper dialed in, and he guided it to the 250 National Motocross title. He led the championship that year with 5 overall wins, including a triumphant victory, yes, at Budds Creek, the site of 2 brutal crashes. And his championship for Yamaha would be their first since Ricky Johnson won the crown back in 1984. Having conquered the track and the series that had taken so much from him, Henry would retire from motocross. But for a brief time, he would race snowcross and would win 2 X Games medals in Supermoto competition in 2005 and 2006. But a crash at a Supermoto event in 2007 would leave him partially paralyzed. For most people, that would be the end of the story. But Doug Henry specializes in comebacks, and the 3-time motocross champ kept on racing, winning 6 medals in the adaptive categories at the X Games, 2014 through 2019. Doug Henry was inducted into the AMA Hall of Fame in 2005, and if you see him at Southwick this weekend, he'll be surrounded by a legion of loyal New England fans. There is only one Doug Henry. Unbelievable what he overcame in his career.
Yeah, one of the toughest guy ever, man. I mean, what he was able to come back from. Those injuries he had at Budds Creek both years were unbelievable. I was at the one where he was injured when he broke both of his arms from a bike failure. Hated to see that, but man, just tough as nails.
And always smiling. Hanging out with him last night, seeing this morning, always having a good time. Loves the sport still. Let's get to our MX versus ATV Legends track map, RC.
Boom, there you go. Toughest physically and mechanically. Southwick Motocross 338, and man, this place really puts you to the test physically. So hard, number one, to just achieve it, just to compete, much less race it and go 100% to the end. But a lot of different lines for the guys to move around on. It's really, really rough racetrack, but historically the toughest track for these guys.
Yeah, some iconic sections, like that's the famous Buckley Berm that the photographers love when they sandblast their way around this track. Let's get a little more. We'll send it down to the racetrack with Will Christian.
Thank you, Jason and Ricky, the guys in the gate here, ready to go. As you mentioned earlier, that red plate last weekend exchanging hands now on the front of Hunter Lawrence's bike, 96 there for Honda HRC. There's a lot of talk about the weight of the plate. In other words, the pressure that comes with having that red plate on your bike. I asked Hunter about it. I said, are you feeling that at all? And he said, nope, not one little bit. He said, if anything, it's confidence. He said, this is what I've worked for. That's what all the years went into getting to this point. So honestly, no. He went 1-1 for the overall win here at Southwick last year, guys. He's healthier and fitter than ever. Can he do it again this year and hold off his brother? We're about to find out.
Oh, so fun. This type of battle between two teammates and brothers who have been 1-2 in most of the races this year. Here's KTM keys to the moto, Carmichael.
There you go. Physical preservation, bike preservation. As I told you, this is the toughest track physically. Got to do the best you can. Find that limit. Don't go into the red zone on heart rate. And then the bike, if you don't have any pressure from behind, you have nothing to gain, nothing to lose, make sure you get that bike to the finish line.
And that is especially true in this 250 class, where they are really wringing these bikes out for every ounce of power they can produce in this deep sand. FloRacing 30-second card is up. And the revs come up as well. Here we go. Looks like Hunter Lawrence got boxed in off the start, and Jet Lawrence going to lead them in and out of turn one. Motorsport.com whole shot to your defending champ. Justin Cooper back to his traditional good starts. We have seen him buried the last couple of weeks. This time he is second.
That's right. If he can put himself back in that state of mind where he was out there winning, having good races, that's what he needs to do. Race forward, race the guy that you battled with for the championship right in front of you. Yes, he's coming off of an injury. However, still feels like it feels pretty good. The injury isn't as bad as it once was. So.
Yeah, see what Cooper can do. He's got pressure, though, from his teammate, the rookie Nick Romano, who looked pretty quick in our final qualifying session today. He's a New York native, probably spent some time at this track. And RJ Hampshire is 4th. Where is Hunter Lawrence? 12th.
Yeah, Hunter Lawrence, I saw on the start, he got off to it. He got a bad jump out of the gate, so then he was behind from that point on. Like I said, that first corner is extremely narrow, and it just got narrowed up. The door was closed on him, and he's way behind.
Trying to find him here. There he is, battling it out with the 47 of Seth Hamaker, and there is Derek Kelly. He's able to make the move on him.
Yeah, look
and
at
also around time after.
Oh, going for it. 2 for 1 in the Buckley corner. That is really hard to do. Get by 2 guys, but he's riding aggressively. He knows he can't waste any time. His brother is out front. I'm sure he understands that.
Unbelievable, just blew by.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for it.
Got by Kitchen, now working on Volan. Unreal.
Well, he has no choice, Jason. He's got to get up front as quick as possible from a race standpoint. Try to give himself an opportunity to possibly challenge his brother. It's going to be tough to do being this far back this early on. But then you shift to points management mode. He at least has to do the best he can to come out of here with the 2nd place.
And last week's winner, Shimoda, is in 6th, a few positions further forward than this. As Jet Lawrence leads the first lap here at Southwick, and his brother Hunter has to work after the bad start.
Well, you see your timing and scoring there. His brother is already 10 seconds out front, in front of him, rather. So he's got a lot of time to make up. And as the gap starts to stretch out, it's going to be harder and harder to get by these guys. Can't get so hard to get past 2 guys in 1 corner, like on the first lap, and everyone's still bunched up.
Yeah, he did do some quick work there. 3-4 passes we saw almost instantly, and he's got another pack in front of him. Voland. And this is that battle. He's right at the tail end of this pack. This is Swole, Shimoda, Styles Robertson. 5th, 6th, 7th. Then it would be Voland. Then it would be Hunter Lawrence. And Hunter closing back in on Voland now.
Yeah, I love how this is shaping up right here. Hunter went to the inside. Voland was on the outside. Voland was able to get a better drive out of the corner.
Yeah, wasn't able to make the move there. Nate Thrasher sticking with Hunter Lawrence right behind him. Lawrence passed him a lap ago. They jump in and out of these sand pits. Jet Lawrence has already opened it up to 4.6 seconds on Cooper. He's fending off his teammate Romano.
Unlike the 450s that we just watched, these 250s, much harder to get through the sand. The sand takes a toll on these motorcycles. There's so much resistance against the rolling of the motorcycles. These things asking a lot out of the performance and the engines. The engine temperatures get extremely hot because of that, because there's so much resistance in the roll speed.
All right, this battle continues. That is Shimoda versus Swole, 5th and 6th. Shimoda gonna try to work the outside. Oh, almost went down.
Oh, he tried. Joe tried to get by there, but when he was coming out of that corner, he made a mistake. The bike slipped out.
Gonna try again. He's watching the Beta Motorcycles drone cam. Another outside line attempt. Swole holds him back. So good job by Swole. Both times to keep the line in front where Shimoda wanted to go.
Good to see Jalek Swole up there running with these front guys. He's had a rough year. Started in Supercross, got hurt literally on the first lap. Just could never rebound. So to see Jalek up here on this Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing machine, running with these front guys, will certainly give him some confidence. You know, he's a lot better than what his results have shown.
No, he's had motos where he could not even get to the finish line with the ailing shoulder, and this is definitely going to put, you got an injury, it's going to hurt by the end of the day on this rough track.
Oh, yeah.
Shimoda having to go back to work, so 2 pass attempts, couldn't get around. Now has to wait all the way around to another section to mount another attack on Swole. Hampshire is up ahead in 4th, Romano 3rd, Justin Cooper 2nd, and Jet Lawrence leading, and the damage done. Hunter Lawrence made a few quick passes, got to 9th. He has not been able to advance past that yet. And they're starting to string out, as you were theorizing.
Yeah, well, what we were talking about, too, is when you don't have a huge speed gap on the rider in front of you or behind you, makes it incredibly hard to pass because the guy in front of you is taking the preferred line most of the time, so it makes it really hard to get by the rider in front of you.
Yeah, so Hunter's having to go fast enough to make the pass while in the bad line, and he cannot get around Voland. He's riding very well here. Voland was pretty quick, hovering around the top 5 in the practice sessions earlier today as well.
Just think about that. 2 laps have went by. Hunter's already 17 seconds behind the leader. I mean, Jet Lawrence is making up a lot of time on this pack right here. He's 6 seconds in front of the lead, or in front of second place.
Shimoda giving another shot here on the 31 of Swole. This is Hampshire trying to get Romano for 3rd. Can't quite get it done.
Great job by Nick Romano.
Jet Lawrence has crashed, and Justin Cooper takes the lead. He had nearly a 7-second lead, and it's done.
And I was just going to say, Jason's like, man, this is the worst nightmare for these guys, for Jet to get out in the lead and put it on cruise control. Talked about physical preservation. He was going to get, he could have got out there and just cruised on to the finish line. Now that's not going to be the case, at least for another few laps, or at least half this moto.
He will have to work for it. Credit to him having a big enough lead that he only lost 1 spot with a tip over and is already back on the rear wheel of Cooper.
Yeah, no need. If you're Jet Lawrence right here, there's no need to push it. You have such a speed advantage right now. Think about the long game. The pass, you know, is going to present itself at some point, and when it does, take advantage of it at that point. No need to push the issue right here and force anything.
And then that Romano-Hampshire battle continues for 3rd as you watch the FloRacing battle box. Can Jet find an opening on Cooper? Working it right here. Not enough. Switches from the inside. Side by side again. He's on the outside for this next corner. Gonna have to grease it. Nah, too far wide. Cooper doing a good job, holding him at bay, and then Cooper a mistake, and Jet Lawrence retakes the lead.
Yeah, Cooper was right alongside the edge of the track. The reason he was there, it's a little bit smoother on that very edge of the track, and just moved over too much, almost high-sided because of it. Jet gets by.
So it's going to appear as 1 lap that Jet did not lead because he crashed right before the finish, but it did not take him long to get the #1 spot back. It looks like Hampshire has done it. He's made the move, if I see this right, on Romano. And with that mistake by Cooper, can Hampshire make a run for 2nd?
Oh, I like RJ Hampshire's chances here today at Southwick. This kid grew up in Florida, born and raised racing in the sand, so he is no stranger to these type racing conditions.
Yeah, he grew up not too far from the legendary Croom. I'm sure you spent plenty of time there growing up.
More times than I wanted to, I can tell you that much. Countless hours, burned lots of gas there.
Yeah, that's the sand pit in Florida. That's the hot spot. A lot of riders go visit, but Hampshire, that's where he grew up. And he does have Justin Cooper in his sights at some of the longer straightaways on this track. So the Florida native will never cheat you for effort.
No.
Nobody rides as hard as RJ Hampshire.
Yeah, he's one tough customer, certainly, and goes for it. Loves to be out there racing. There's been times where he's had injuries. I'm like, oh, there's no way he's coming back next weekend. And there he is, lined up.
Yeah, had a big crash. Southwick had a hole put in his side under his armpit, and he wanted to come race the next weekend at Colorado. They wouldn't let him do that, but he was back for High Point. Only missed one race after spending several days in the hospital. That's how tough this guy is.
Oh, yeah, he is tough.
Okay, so we'll keep tabs on Hampshire, looking to close back in on Cooper. Jet Lawrence getting away. Hunter Lawrence finally made the move on Volan, but that is still only enough for 8th place. So tough situation there for Hunter, because he did not get the jump off the start. Okay, back to our drone cam with Shimoda and Swole. Shimoda finally has that 5th place position. Oh, and Hunter has gone down. It's gone from bad to worse.
Oh, man.
Okay, that's going to put him outside the top 10, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Pierce Brown goes by. That is 15th place.
Let's see here. Oh, he gets crossed up.
Came into the back.
Gets crossed up behind,
I think Robertson?
Yeah, Robertson. Oh, that's such a bad spot to fall, too, over a blind jump. Oh, you hate that. So he's in the points lead before the moto. Now he's going to be well outside the points lead. Your Jet Lawrence, his brother, he's thinking, okay, yeah, finally I got some redemption, got some points back, but you hate to see your brother crash as well.
16th place for Hunter Lawrence. Only score 5 points if it finished like this. We obviously expect him to move far forward, but it gives you an idea of how much ground he has lost and how devastating this damage is. And there he had to shake the helmet.
He was shaking his goggles. He probably had dirt in his goggles, so he's shaking his goggles, get the dirt out.
Here's the motorsport.com whole shot replay.
Okay, here he is right here. He has a straight shot to the first turn, but he's going to get clobbered up right there. See how this start narrows up so much. You can see he's right here in the middle. There's nothing you can do there. If you get a bad jump out of that gate, guys from the outside and the inside funnel into one area, and you are done for.
And then, as you always say, RC, you get caught in other people's problems.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's certainly not preferred to get a bad start, but when you get caught in other people's problems, 9 out of 10 times it's a byproduct of a bad start.
Yeah, it gets into the back of Styles Robertson, who was in 7th and now finds himself in 16th. Here is Voland in 8th. He is now challenging Robertson.
Well,
and then Swole in 6th.
Yeah, and Styles Robertson coming off a podium last week with a 3-5 finish, rode fantastic.
Yeah, and he needed that one to get his season back on track, and you can see a lot better follow-up than most of the motos he had this year. So that little podium gives him a little boost as we go back to Hampshire, trying to keep Cooper honest. Cooper has picked it back up, opened up to about 3 seconds on Hampshire.
Yep.
So a much better run today. It's more of the Justin Cooper we're used to, who was almost always on the podium. Send it down the wheel more on Justin Cooper.
You just said it, Jason. Yeah, more of the Justin Cooper that we have seen, obviously, in past seasons. When I spoke to the team there earlier on and said, you know, where's he at? What's the progress here? They said, honestly, after last weekend at Redbud, which was not a good result for him, they said he got mad. He got mad. That was him out of title contention as far as they were concerned. They said, but the upside of that is they felt like it also took the pressure off. Everybody was expecting him to come back from this injury. There was a lot of that going. There's his mechanic right there. And they said, honestly, now that's come off, now he can start to perform. Now it's go time. So, Ricky, it's tough, isn't it, to get into the head of these riders. Justin Cooper's been through a lot, on the couch for a month, off his bike for 5 months. Maybe he just needed that pressure off a little bit to get back to himself.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wasn't riding well. To your point, Will, and what they told you, and had a chance to talk to his mechanic as well. And, yeah, feels a lot better this weekend. And, you know, just try to brush off what happened last weekend and move forward. There's nothing we can do about it. Said he's in a much better place this weekend, and certainly the results are speaking for themselves.
7-9 were the moto scores last week for Justin Cooper, a rider who just lives on the podium. This is much more like it. Yeah, he had a nice run of 4 straight moto podiums, so it started to look like it was the same old Justin Cooper. Maybe we got ahead of ourselves, forgetting how devastating that foot injury was.
Yeah, I mean, off the bike for 5 months. I mean, non-weight bearing for almost 2 months. That's a long time, and you get out of shape extremely quick because of that.
Halfway through this moto, so in 15 minutes we'll be finished, and in 15 minutes you could save 15% or more on your insurance by making a quick phone call to Geico. And Cooper has weathered the storm. It was a little charge there from RJ Hampshire, but this gap is stabilized at about 2 to 3 seconds. Hampshire's got to keep going, though. Joe Shimoda up to 4th and closing.
Yeah, I love it. Sushi Man coming up through the pack. He puts a little sushi emblem on his butt patch there. I love it. Sometimes after his Instagram posts, after the caption, he'll put a little sashimi there. Such a great kid, and I thought his story was cool last week. Didn't even know he had won the overall, but man, he is, I'd say the last 3 rounds, starting at Mount Morris, he rode spectacular last weekend, obviously getting his first outdoor win, rode great, and you can see now he's got some great speed moving up the pack here.
Yeah, starting to close, got around Romano, now going after Hampshire for the podium. And he is catching him quickly. Shimoda is flying here at Southwick, really putting it together, and now we have a battle. Their ETS Racing Fuels drone cam.
Such an epic view right here. Seeing the different lines, guys inside, guys outside. Now you can see where the dirt is kind of like brown, and then it's kind of light. Where it's brown, that's where most of the guys are going, and then where it's light, that's where the track is starting to dry up just a bit. So you see the preferred lines.
Well, Hampshire knows he's there now. Is that Cooper?
That is Cooper.
That is Cooper. So just as quickly as Cooper had opened it up to 3 seconds over Hampshire, Hampshire has caught him, and Shimoda is there. We have a 3-rider battle for second.
Well, and they're not far behind Jet Lawrence in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
Joe Shimoda is man on a mission. He turned the fastest lap last time around.
Got off the side of the track. He was on the wrong side of that lap rider. He ends up off the side, and Shimoda makes the move.
Well, I was looking over at timing and scoring. Joe Shimoda was the fastest guy in traffic last lap at a 2:16. The next best was a 2:17 of Hampshire. Jet Lawrence is a 2:18. This is going to be interesting right here. Still a lot of racing left. We got 12 minutes plus 2 laps.
Yeah, can Shimoda continue this
run? Do not turn your channel, I can tell you that much.
He is moving on this Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. There's Cooper on the right side. There's a lap rider in between them. Shimoda gets by him and goes back to work. Now it would be second place.
This straightaway is so rough. I can remember racing there, Jason. It's like when you wanted to rest, you're like, okay, I'm coming to a straightaway, and it was just so rested. You still had to stand up. Let the bike work underneath you is extremely difficult.
You had a funny way of showing that you were tired in these motos. I was going to say, we couldn't detect that.
Perception is key, man.
Okay.
Right? Never show weakness.
I like it.
Even though I was I was in the pain cave, certainly.
All right, Southwick will bring it out, and even the best of them. And that's got to be where Cooper and Shimoda are right now. 20 minutes into this moto, and they are sending it. Fighting for position is Cooper. Now, Lawrence must have got the memo. He has dipped back out. He's opened it to 5 seconds, but Shimoda is all over Cooper. Oh, and they almost come together. Almost bounced off of each other there. Can Shimoda beat him to the corner? He does. He's in second.
Oh, this is going to be good. Yes, Lawrence, he pulled out his lead, but still Joe was a 2:16 that last moto, and Jet was only a 2:17.
Wow, so Joe, if he can continue this run, and you think he should because he has clear racetrack, can he put a little pressure on Jet Lawrence, who has had his problems in this moto? Would have had a huge lead, but a tip over. Now you can see the gaps.
These lappers, they need to give way to the leaders coming up.
And I think they have. So Shimoda carrying the momentum of that win last week at Redbud. I mean, through traffic up to second. Hunter Lawrence still just 14th.
It's the roughest, gnarliest, toughest, most physically demanding discipline in all of motorsports. I'm Ricky Carmichael, 10-time outdoor pro motocross champion. Join us as we unleash the beast in the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship presented by Monster Energy.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motorsport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
We're back here at Southwick. Jet Lawrence maintaining the lead. It's almost 6 seconds at one point. It's 4.5. Joe Shimoda has found his flow halfway through this moto. Started passing riders quickly. Now he's in second. Can he get to the point where he can put some pressure on Jet Lawrence?
Well, he's got 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go. 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. You just have to wonder. Oh, there he is coming from behind. There he is. He's in our screen.
Got it down to 3.9. Another half second lopped off. Meanwhile, troubles for your points leader, Hunter Lawrence, had the bad start, the crash. And another clip here. Trying to get Pierce Brown.
Yeah. Oh, almost goes down, saves it. Look at him, rips his tear off. He's probably so angry right now after that bad start.
The visor off, so he's eating even more roost than usual. Shimoda takes it from 3.9 to 3.6.
So long as these lappers don't get in Joe's way, it's going to be interesting. Oh, it looks like Jet maybe has turned it up. There's a couple areas where I was watching Jet. Looked like he was laboring a little bit in the corners, just not really pushing the issue and not being aggressive. I can tell you right now, this man right here is going for it.
Well, there is a lot on the line if Shimoda could catch.
Yeah.
Jet Lawrence for the lead. He took it down to 3.4 from 3.6.
And this will be a big points day for Joe Shimoda as well, catching up to Hunter. So Hunter needs to minimize the damage here, not give up, push to the end, so long as he's not hurt from that high side.
Yeah, Joe could get it down within a moto, which is 25 points, a little over 30 back from your series leader, Hunter Lawrence. There's the gap right now. Oh, and that exchange to the advantage of Lawrence, it was 3.6, now it's 4.3.
Yeah, it looks like Jet has put the afterburners on. Maybe he sensed the pressure or the speed of Joe coming over, probably looked over, or perhaps got a signal from his mechanic saying, hey, Joe is on the move, you better get after it.
Well, how much, even without that, how much can you gain and lose in just one section with line choice?
Oh, yeah, you can lose at least a second. At least a second, especially in the sand. This thing gobbles you up pretty quick.
And so did the lap traffic. That really slowed up Jet.
Oh, this is going to mess Jet up for sure. Look at, then
still cannot get by. Let's send it down to Will with the team owner for Joe Shimoda, Mitch Payton.
That's right, Mitch with me now, Jason. Mitch, we're seeing incredible things here yet again from Joe Shimoda there. If you could speak to him, if you could be in his ear right now, what would your advice be?
No advice. But he's riding really good. He just needs to keep his pace up like he's doing, and he should be all right.
What do you think the biggest difference has been for Joe here? His confidence seems to be climbing week by week.
I think he's doing a lot of work. Him and Nick Way have been working a lot on training, so I think that's helping a ton.
Thanks so much, Mitch.
And the legendary team owner, they're giving credit to the new trainer for Shimoda. Started working together just a couple of weeks ago, and it has definitely turned things and the confidence, as she mentioned, after the win, and he is going after Jet Lawrence.
I love it. Got by those lappers relatively easy. Didn't hold him up. They certainly didn't hold up Joe as much as they holded up Jet. So that was an advantage to Joe.
2.2 seconds of what was a 6-second gap.
When you're in this position, Jason, look at, there you go, this perfect view by the drone. When you get to this position, you see you're catching your competitor, and there is blood in the water. It's much easier to reel in this time gap than it was, say, 4 seconds back when you're on the same straightaway.
Hampshire has made the move on Cooper. He's in third. Cooper back to fourth. Tholen has gotten through that battle that he was in. He's in fifth. Roberts in sixth. Moseman, who I had about 18th early in this moto, is up to 7th. Romano 8th, Swole 9th, Hamaker 10th. Hunter Lawrence, your series points leader, has had all sorts of adversity. He is in 11th place. So if it ends like this, points lead will go back to Jet Lawrence here between these two motos as we keep tabs on Shimoda.
Man, it's like they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like their rubber band right now. Yes, Jet did get held up by those lappers.
And the section they just went through, that's where Jet stretched it the previous lap.
Yeah.
Joe closed it in here. We'll find out how much is just Joe is faster in this section, or a lap ago was it just Jet being held up by the lap traffic. We'll know soon.
Yeah. We're about to find out. Looks like Jet has pulled away, and this is where Jet is, you know, he's so good, is he only pushes it to, whoa, he's going for it. You see he's got head shake, his front end was going back and forth. There's another look.
But didn't even lose ground.
No, he didn't lose ground, but I just wonder if Jet was hanging back on purpose, you know, no need to push it. Seems like that's what he's doing. He's only attacking or accelerating when he needs to.
Perhaps it's management mode for your defending champion, Jet Lawrence, the Australian, the 18-year-old, and the 20-year-old out of Japan, Joe Shimoda, keeping him honest. 3 seconds is the gap. And Cooper has slipped back around Hampshire, so they are having a real battle a couple of times back and forth now.
Wondering,
final podium spot.
Wonder if Hampshire had an issue, Jason, because there were like Hampshire was way out front.
Yeah, he lost 6 seconds to Cooper that last time around. And he was 13 seconds off of what Jet Lawrence put in. So yeah, you have to wonder if there was a mistake or a crash for Hampshire to give that third place spot back up.
Did you see Jet was peeking over the left side, the peripherals, to see where Shimoda was. I think he's doing it, just keeping him at bay on purpose, not exerting any injury that he doesn't have to. See, look back right there. Great shots by our camera crew, getting the job done.
Fly battle box is Justin Cooper and Hampshire. That battle that has switched a few times, third and fourth, as we continue to watch the leader here, Jet Lawrence.
Well, Hunter needs to slow up. So he's got a minute to burn right here before he crosses the start-finish line. If he crosses it before the 1 minute is up, he's going to add another lap. And I can tell you from personal experience, that is like an eternity when you are at the limit physically. Heart rate is at its max.
Hey, this time in that first sector of the track, Shimoda closed. He went from 3.1 to 2.7, now 2.8. That's usually the section where Jet gets the better of him. This section is usually where Shimoda is quicker. We'll see by the time they get to the finish. And also, as you were theorizing, will the clock expire or not?
He's going to pass it before.
3 to go then.
Yeah, he's going to have about 15 seconds.
Yeah, this is the final corner right here, and there are still 19 seconds to go. So the 2-lap card not in sight. 3 to go for Jet Lawrence. Wow.
Oh, this is big.
We'll see the gaps here. They'll update in a moment when they come through this stripe. Joe's trying to close in again. Jet off the side of the track, looking for some smooth racetrack. Not much you're going to find here at Southwick.
Yeah, I think that I think Joe got held up by that lapper.
Yeah, he did, down to 3.7.
Yeah, he lost a lot of speed, so now he's going to have to hang it out here. But another 2 3/4 lap left. He's going to need some help from these guys if he wants to close the gap.
And Cooper has survived that battle with Hampshire. He now has 5 seconds to spare, back in third, but 21 seconds off of the leader. Bo's been making more moves. He's up to 6 behind Volan. Go ahead.
Talked about giving some perspective to our fans tuned in today. Why Southwick is so hard, and I like to put it to you guys this way. It's like, imagine walking in deep sand and then walking on hard packed clay, which is easier to walk on. Well, of course, you know, the sand is much harder, takes a lot more energy. That's what it's like for these athletes riding in sand. That's what it's like for the motorcycles. There's so much more resistance. It takes a lot more effort for these riders to muscle these bikes around because of the resistance.
Shimoda looking around, wants to see the gap between he and Jet.
Oh, he can see it. It's opening up, unfortunately, for Joe.
Yeah, we thought the 3 to go might work to Joe's advantage, giving him another lap to close in.
Well, Jet was getting us amped up in here inside the booth, Jason, making us think that Joe had a chance, and he looked back and just turned up the wick. And I don't mean Southwick. Look, he's gone now. It's like, it's amazing how this kid can do this at only 18 years old. It is certainly incredible.
I say it every week. You would think the hotshot 18-year-old is wild and reckless, but he rides with such veteran poise, especially outdoors. We've seen some rough edges in Monster Energy Supercross.
But not as much here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship.
No, even from day one, his first full season, he was kind of quiet. He's a 5th to 6th place rider. Then last year, wins the championship. We have not seen the big crashes, the big mistakes from him. Big reason why he has that #1 plate, and potentially will have the points lead after this moto. Now Hunter has moved up to 8th, so he has rallied late to make up some key passes. This is Volan and Robertson in a battle for 6th and 7th. Robertson is all over him. So Volan had passed him earlier. Oh! Robertson gets him.
Yeah, like Volan checks up right there. Robertson's like, up, I'm taking it. You can't give up that much ground. You can't check up at this level. These guys are just stalking you.
And Volan goes back after him. Actually, Moseman has passed them both. Moseman, man, from just inside the top 20 to 5th. Great ride by Moseman that won't show in the results. And Hunter Lawrence has caught these two. There is Hunter. See the red fenders. There he is.
Yeah, great comeback from Hunter Lawrence. That's a testament to his physical fitness. Not easy to do. Bad start. Took a tough crash, getting crossed up behind Styles Robertson's rear tire. Almost crashes again that we saw a coming out of that corner, slips up. Been eating roost the whole time.
Hunter in position now to take another spot. That'd be 1 championship point. That's the difference between 8th and 7th. Can he get Volan right here? Oh, crossed him up. Beautiful move.
Same type situation. How Robertson got by Max Volan. Quarter of the way through the corner, looked like Volan stood his bike up. Boom. Hunter was lined up to go right up the inside. That was a great pass by Hunter Lawrence. If you think about this from a championships perspective, I know sometimes we talk about it, every point counts. So that pass is crucial, could be crucial by the time we get to the final round.
Well, a wise man once said, you win your titles on your bad days.
That's
and
right.
he is persevering. 7th isn't what he came here to get, but it's a whole lot better than it could have been.
Well, and he still has an opportunity to gain some ground, possibly pick up another position right here if he's able to get by Styles Robertson. Certainly closing in the gap here. And he's got to push, continue to pressure, push, 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 and get that 6th spot.
He's close enough to get there, but will he have time? We are on to the last lap. Shimoda put in a charge. Lawrence finally said, no. He just ran a 2:20 on this lap, and the gap that was once 3 seconds is 9.5. He put almost 4 seconds into Joe in 1 lap to finish this one off. We'll keep watching this battle between Robertson and Hunter Lawrence for 6th. Mosiman, an underrated ride, for 5th. Hampshire 4th, Cooper 3rd, Shimoda 2nd, and Jet Lawrence headed for a moto win. Hunter just keeps charging. And he has to. They're just getting the white flag now as Jet is far ahead. We're talking a minute, almost a half a lap further up.
Look at Hunter was trying to get up the inside there. Bummed at that lapper. I think that lapper took an opportunity for Hunter to get by there. He still has a lot of, this is a long lap here. He needs to stick with Styles, be right on his rear end. Styles slips just 1 bit, boom, he needs to take advantage of that mistake or 1 little slip up. That's only if Styles makes a mistake. Now, if Styles doesn't slip up, then he's gonna have to force the issue to get by and just be craftier with his lines.
The clock has expired, but Hunter's gonna keep on digging on this final lap. No other changes on the racetrack. Kitchen a bad start. He has climbed up to 9th, and Romano, who was up front early, is back to 10th. Can Robertson hold Hunter Lawrence off? Jet Lawrence, meanwhile, you see him here, headed for daylight. Well, that was short-lived, lost the points lead, should have it back at the end of this moto, but in a little over an hour's time, we will have the 2nd moto of the day. Jet Lawrence wins the 1st moto here at Southwick. Good management job by him. Made it interesting as Shimoda closed the gap.
I can't believe the gap he pulled in the last 2.5 laps.
Oh, there it is. Hunter, an aggressive move down to the inside and gets Robertson.
Wow, great pass by Hunter Lawrence. Last lap, talked about it again. That could be the deciding move come the last race of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. Might not seem like it now, but those points are all so important.
We had him in 16th place, and now he's looking to dig out a 6th. That's 10 points he made up in the last couple of laps of this moto. What an effort by Hunter Lawrence. What will he have left in Moto 2? Because you know he went deep in this one to make these passes late. The crowd saluting that effort. Shimoda has come across in 2nd, Justin Cooper 3rd, Hampshire 4th, Mosiman 5th, and there it is. Minimizing the damage. Hunter Lawrence, 10 positions made up late in that one. Meanwhile, his brother Jet already into recovery mode for Moto 2.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motorsport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.